They told me all I had to do was say a few words as a declaration of faith. As I said my Shahada, I had this strange but amazing feeling coming over me. Here is a brief account of my journey. I hope you enjoy. My name is Sophie and I'm half Iranian and half English. Half Iranian father and English mother. I was mainly raised to believe what I wanted, although I did go to church now and again with my grandparents. My mum would also read me stories from children's Bible, as there was a Methodist influence from the maternal side of my family, but that's all I really took from Christianity. And lived how most non-religious people in the UK live. Growing up, I lived as agnostic, atheist, and I wasn't sure if God was there, but I did speak to him regularly, even as a child. I would tell him my problems. I would ask for forgiveness if I have done something wrong, and I would say, please show me if you are there, desperately for a sign. Little did I know, the signs were all around me. Subhanallah. And as I got older, Jinn and God did not really come into my life, and I went through some tough times. In the beginning in 10, I'd been through so much in my life at that point, and I just remember laying in bed thinking, surely there must be more to life than this. Over the past couple of years, I've learned a bit about Islam and I was quite interested by it. But all the Muslim friends weren't practicing, and others I met in the past were very culturally inclined, and they were not nice people. This gave me a bad perception of Muslims, so I never experienced true Islam. But during Ramadan, I got to see how they would be if they were actually practicing. I would see people post things on social media like quotes from the Quran or quote of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, and the words were very peaceful and it just sat well with me. One day while I was with a few of them, we heard a strange noise outside, which was actually the shirking sound of a fox. But they told me it could be a jinn. It obviously wasn't. I had never heard of this word before, and I began researching about the unseen in Islam. And every video just made me more and more gripped. I did somewhat believe there was a God at that time. And I only asked for guidance, and I started having a lot of dreams. I would wake up crying in hot sweats, having dread for a day when I was in a state of fear and shock, as God would be asking me of my life and what's become of it. I had these dreams for months, and there came a point that I was scared to go to sleep. I started doing some research into religion, which consisted of Islam, Zoroastrianism, Christianity, and Sikhism. While studying Islam, I came across a piece about the Day of Judgment, which was described in such detail, and my mouth dropped open as I realized that this was what I have been dreaming about. I was actually shaking. From then on, I continued to research into Islam, and I watched a lot of videos on YouTube, and I would just sit and tremble. I kept watching about things like the preservation of Pharaoh, the amazing descriptions of heaven and the peaceful way of life. There was such a beautiful structure at which I felt I was lacking. I was fascinated by seeing people walking around the Kaaba or praying in congregation. I also thought women who covered looked so elegant and modest, and I remember thinking I would love to wear it too. I became interested to know about people reverting to Islam, and I watched videos of them becoming Muslim, and I would get so emotional. I felt like that should be me. I hadn't read all of the Quran and really did not know that much about Islam, but I knew I wanted to be a part of it. The first thing I did was contact one of my friends, and I told her this amazing news of me wanting to embrace Islam. To my surprise, she actually did not know how to help me, and instead, she asked me if I wanted to go out to the clubs with her. This delayed me becoming a Muslim for a good while because of the lifestyle I was living. I was very attached to the dunya at this time. Around that time, a few things happened, and I started having these dreams again, and I would just had enough. I contacted an old friend I knew from school that was Muslim and asked for some help. They put me in contact with a sister who could discuss things with me further. She phoned me and her voice was so kind, and she picked me up from home. She arrived in the car and I was instantly met in a warm, welcoming manner. She was also the first person in the niqab that I've ever spoken to. I was pleasantly surprised and felt at ease, like I was in good hands. She took me to another sister's house and I started getting a bit nervous. But once again, I was greeted with kindness. I went and was greeted by a group of lovely sisters. The atmosphere was so calming and serene, and we discussed my decision to become Muslim. They told me all I had to do was say a few words as a declaration of faith, and I started shaking with no, but I knew it was what I wanted to do. As I said my Shahada, I had this strange but amazing feeling coming over me. I felt as though there was a river running through me from head to toe, as though I was being pure. I just felt instant peace and like a weight has been lifted from my shoulders. SubhanAllah, I was free from any sin. One of the sisters described it as being like a new baby. I felt so pure and light. That was 9 years ago. And although there had been bumps along the way, my love for Allah continues to grow. And I'm so thankful and blessed to be a Muslim. Allahu Akbar. My message to non-Muslims would be: research Islam for yourself with an open mind. Look into the history and don't be afraid to question if you are interested. Also, don't believe that every Muslim is perfect. We make mistakes like everyone else. Don't hold Islam to account for the actions of people. And read and watch about the lives of other people who became Muslim, and you will see why they fell in love with the beautiful way of life.